Hello guys and welcome back to the market. So today we are going to talk about the latest news, the big news that we have on the market. But first let's check the Bitcoin price, and we are now at 64,100, and it seems to be in the same range that we are since basically 3rd of June, 4th of June, and on hourly chart it seems to be going down. And will this be because of the news that we have? And let's go into them. Now, we have some news that there is more fighting in the Middle East, but let's see the bullish news first, which is from Tracer, and he says the US just supported the build of oil pipeline to bypass the Strait of Hormuz. Iraq and Syria will revive and rebuild the old Kirkuk Banyas pipeline. The UAE said it will also build a pipeline by 2027 to avoid the strait. This is extremely bullish for the markets. How long will it take to be built? I don't know. I mean, if it's something that important, they will try to do it fast. But yeah, this should be bullish. However, those guys can bomb it, but I don't think they will. Or maybe they will once or twice, but this can be repaired. Yeah, I think the strait it's a big problem, economical problem that will create a lot of stress on the markets. But yeah, let's check the latest news. Why might Bitcoin fall now, and why might we have a leg down? Because of the basically the Middle Eastern conflicts as usual, and we are now we're really going down as I'm filming this. Jeez. So in the end we might still have the triple bottom that I predicted, or the inverted head and shoulders. So the next news is from Israel military. So the US has completely destroyed the IRGC headquarters in Iran. This was the primary location from which Iran controlled its air force. The attack was so massive that the surrounding buildings were completely destroyed, and uncontrollable fire is raging at the site following the US strikes. So might this be the news that will give us the next leg down, or will it be that the seller is selling Bitcoin, or will have to sell more Bitcoin? So those two combined will keep the market in a sad state for a while, I guess, or maybe in the sandwich move, like in the same range. So 500 Iranians were killed in the US Army airstrikes. 20 Iranian fighter jets were destroyed in 2 hours. 1,000 missiles are locked on target for an attack. So yeah, this is what is currently happening. It might cause a drop in the market. However, the drop didn't come on Monday. Was it? Yeah, this one was on Monday, but it's not a big drop compared to what happened in other days, and people said it is going to be the worst Monday. However, it wasn't. I still believe that this might has been the bottom, and now everyone is waiting for another bottom. But even if there is another bottom, what are you waiting for? It's just a 10% discount. I don't think it will be much more. I mean, we already have a lot of it was first leg down of 35, and second one here of 38, 37, let's say, and now we had this one which was 29%. Yeah, 3 legs down, it should be enough. This might have been the bottom, I mean, in my opinion. And too many people are waiting for another bottom. We have already everything. I think most of the things are already priced in. Most of the bad news, and yeah, you can see the fighting is going on. The rates, the Fed didn't cut the rates; they are up. So even Japan got some rate hikes and dumping U.S. bonds. Everything, we already had all kind of bad news. Even Michael Saylor selling. So yeah, I think it's I would say it's an 80% chance that this was the bottom. However, I would keep some. I would not go all in. I would go like most of it. I would just buy for, let's say, 75-80% of my current money. I would buy in this range, and I will keep 20% just in case we get more of a discount. Always have some money on the side. So let's read this post from Benjamin Cowan, who says Bitcoin continues to ping pong between the bear market resistance band and 200-week SMA. Decisive move durably above or below will likely not occur for a month or two, which I also said this. We will still be in this range for a while. If we don't go down, we're just going to stay around this range. Even the doctor said this. He also said we are going to have another leg down, but I don't know what to say about that. And if we do, it will be for a very short time. Now, yeah. So he says, until then, we likely just see Bitcoin bounce between those levels. Yeah, I think everyone agrees on this. But when everyone agrees on this, it will not. Something unexpected might happen. But yeah, I think we will still stay in this range. I've heard people expecting a lower low, so I don't expect one. I would be surprised if one happens. Now there is always a possibility, but I would just buy now. So I'm digressing, and let's read this one from Crypto Reviewing. This is actually unreal. Bitcoin just pumped from 61,800 to 65,400, liquidating 968 million. That's now 2.69 billion crypto liquidation in the past week alone. So it's a lot of money to be made by crypto liquidations. Now 65,500, 67,500 has a sizable liquidity that could be swept next. Yeah, I'm on spot. I'm not leveraging anything. However, 59,562 has significantly larger liquidation clusters stacked up, making this the high probability zone to visit next from a liquidation perspective. Bulls need to sustain momentum here. Yeah. Everything Bitcoin does, it's a liquidation. Now if it goes up, it's liquidation. If it goes down, it's liquidation. If it stays in the same range, people are going to just sell, break even. You have to sell it. You cannot keep a leverage position forever. It is what it is. I mean, this is gambling. This right here, leverage is gambling. If it's not with your own money, you don't. So we have a post from Christian Kifoy. We had a half coin season and a mid-low cap underperformance because we had the longest downtrend in history in others pumped domination. 3+ years instead of 1.52 years. This is a leader. Let us know the bottom is in before. Copper, gold puts bottom after others. Punct D, punct domination. It signals that looser environment and fresh capital is arriving in the markets. So loose capital spills over the safe havens. 3. Fed balance sheet, same pattern of 3 years plus. Contraction changed trend since December, 2 months after others. Punct D, but earlier than copper. Punct gold. So yeah, this is the longest downtrend ever, which is true, which is actually true. So yeah, we had a lower high here, so we didn't have a higher high, but let me know what you guys think. And the last post is from Mihai Daniel Marius, who says, shock in the crypto world, ZEC XBT declares hardware wallets trash and shatters the ledger myth. Ever since you got into crypto, you've probably heard the same golden rule repeated endlessly. What you want to stay safe, buy yourself a physical wallet, hardware wallet. But what do you do when the most feared and respected on-chain detective in the entire industry says exactly the opposite? So Zek, the man who has exposed thousands of hackers and tracked stolen funds worth hundreds of millions of dollars, just dropped a bombshell in the industry. He considers current physical wallets complete trash and doesn't recommend using them for storing large amounts of signing critical transactions. I don't know what to say about this. If you have a physical wallet, the problem is, yeah, you have the money in your pocket, but then they will just go the old fashioned to rob you. They will just come to your house and tie you up and whatever stuff like that. So he might be right actually, because if you keep them in an exchange or in something, it's rather safer. It's not safe from another perspective, but whatever you do, nothing is safe. You cannot live in a safe world. You have to take a risk. Just pick your risk. So that's all what I have to say, and I hope you enjoyed. Leave me your opinions in the comment section, and see you in the next one.